Welcome, apprentices and acolytes, to my first real deep dive video, and I want to get into the nitty gritty. It might be a very raw, edited video, but please stick with me. I'm going to go over this frame by frame as much as I can. So you ready to get educated? Ready up.
Ready up. My destiny.
Alright, so let's get right into this trailer. Ahsoka's probably going to be doing a lot of similar things that we heard Luke Skywalker doing around the sequel trilogy time. But she is one of the closest, in my opinion, Jedi to the Force itself. She has the Guardian, of course, who is the daughter. This is a really big lore that we're going into here because this is going to be a journey of the Force. I think it's going to explain a lot. I think it's going to explore a lot. And Ahsoka does this really amazing thing here that is actually one of my favorite things of all time. Ahsoka actually does this in the 7th season of Clone Wars, which is pretty cool. But I remember it the most from Knights of the Old Republic 2. There was a character, her name was Traya, Darth Kreia. She was a Jedi that was a Grand Master, fell to the dark side, became a Darth, and she was able to use 3 lightsabers at the same time using levitation. And I felt like when Ahsoka does this, it's kind of a very big tribute to that character. So go play those games because they're fantastic. All right, our first look here at Sabine. And it's pretty crazy to look at her now with this very long hair because when we left off with her, she had a very short hair. She cut her hair. Now, the really cool thing here is you see all these instruments. We remember exactly what happened in Star Wars Rebels where she is looking for Ezra. Her and Ahsoka are tasked with that duty. They have no idea where he is. And like the Mandalorian had pointed out in Season 2, we are also looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn because both of them had disappeared together. And then we get our looks here at a Lothcat. There seems to be some type of equipment. I can't really tell what it is. Maybe a holo terminal or something. And there's another shot of our new Mandalorian friend here. So this is important right here, all right? These are the HK droids, and you did get to see a little bit of them in the 2nd season of The Mandalorian with the Jedi. This was Ahsoka's first appearance in The Mandalorian and her first appearance in live action. The droids that were around there, yeah, and we saw these droids with Morgan Elsbeth. That was the Magistrate in the Jedi episode. And it looks like she's back because these seem to be some sort of upgrade. They did not have these before, very grievous guards like we've seen in Revenge of the Sith, and I love seeing that. Very big here with the lightsabers. You're going to see a lot of lightsaber duels in this. Dave Filoni was very specific about this, so I think you're going to have a very prequel-esque feel. And there we go, there's the Ghost. This is actually an attachment to, it's their main ship that the Ghost, the Spectre Squad, is a part of. And we have seen these characters in Star Wars Rebels, and this is the first time that we've seen Hera Syndulla in live action. This is awesome. And there's Chopper. We saw Chopper, just a little bit of Chopper in Rogue One. He's voiced by Dave Filoni, which is the director of the show, and it's gonna be crazy to see this guy in live action because he's a potty mouth, he's a troublemaker. I can't wait to see him. All right, so these are our first villains, and they are giving me hella crazy Old Republic vibes. First off, you're gonna see them both with these orange lightsabers. This is not red, this is very different. And the way the lightsabers are actually in tune, it seems like there's no white in the middle of that. But with the orange in particular that I want to talk about is the way the Kyber crystal is created now. When Rogue One was introduced, it basically rewrote how lightsabers worked. Before, dark side users were able to create their lightsabers, the things that powered their lightsabers, they were able to create them inside labs. I'm sorry, fam, I don't mean lightsabers, I mean Kyber crystals. Please, every time I say lightsaber, I mean Kyber crystals. Thank you, I'm a scrub, I'm sorry. We're synthetic. Unlike the Jedi that naturally went out, looked at the different planets, and had these lightsabers called to them, and that's how they connected with the lightsaber. And now every single crystal that is inside a lightsaber it's colorless. You can completely see through it. Only until it is activated and touched by a Jedi with the Force, that is when it becomes a certain color. And this is very different. Orange is very different. Yellow, of course, that we saw in the sequel trilogy is very new to live action. But I don't know if this is a different type of Force that they are touching with. Maybe they're not completely dark side. It's very insane and unique that we have here. And we have never seen anyone bleed a crystal orange. We've only seen a character bleed a crystal with Darth Vader and Kylo Ren in those comics, which of course turned red, and then Ahsoka with the white lightsabers. So maybe this is a different technique. Maybe this is something different. I can't wait to see because I absolutely want more of this lore. Yeah, very bad, very Old Republic looking. I love the way it's going in here. This looks almost a direct copy of what we saw in Rebels with this scene. I love seeing it with the X-Wings. And I think this is Lothal. I think this is Ezra's home planet. It does kind of look. Yes, I think you can even see in the background that looks a very Lothal-y type of biome. New Republic looks like to me. Yes, and this is Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma, of course, is in Andor. Funny enough that this wasn't actually the first time that she took this role. She was actually in some of the deleted scenes in the prequel trilogy. So this actress has played Mon Mothma for a very long time, and I'm so glad that we still have her here to play this. But I think politics are also going to play a big part in this show as well. This is around the time of the New Republic, and you've seen The Mandalorian Season 3, you've seen how the New Republic is in disarray, and I'm not sure if they're going to show what happens with Mon Mothma and the downfall of the New Republic, because she's actually the person that lets the secret slip that Leia Organa is the daughter of Darth Vader. Once that happens, Leia completely backs away, detaches herself from politics, and directly creates the resistance after that, and then Mothma is left to deal with everything else, which is why we see the New Republic in the state that it is in. And this, it's not a reaction video, I gotta calm down. And it's impossible for me to. And this is Thrawn, man. This is Thrawn, and whew, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see him. This is the guy. This is probably the greatest villain in all of Star Wars. But that's the thing too here now. He's not necessarily a villain in a lot of these books. He was created a long time ago in the 90s for Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire trilogy. If you haven't read that, please go do your homework. Go ahead and do that. Disney brought him in Star Wars Rebels, and now he has a bunch more books. But his objective, I want to say, isn't really loyal to the Empire. And he has this white. You see, this white isn't really often used by the Empire. You see that a lot in Andor with the ISB, and this is very Grand Moff looking. So I still believe that he is kind of in Imperial right now, but there's this gold texture that is around him as if he's going to his bridge. So I'm not sure if this is actually from the Chiss Ascendancy or something else. Thrawn is very weird at this point in time. The Emperor is no longer a part of the Empire, so Thrawn is honestly able to do what he wants. But Thrawn, is he going to take over the Empire and use that force and the resources to create a better galaxy for his own people? Or is he just gonna try to dissect the rebellion like we saw in Star Wars Rebels? I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. It's very crazy, and I hope we don't really. I don't want to see him die, man. He's such a fantastic character. I can't wait to see more of him. Oh, there you go. So she says heir to the Empire. So you're geeking out. I'm geeking out. All right. So, all right. There we go. There she is. Morgan Elsbeth. Morgan Elsbeth. All right. So we saw this character go toe to toe with Ahsoka, and that means a lot. If you're going toe to toe with Ahsoka, this is the character that was trained by Anakin Skywalker. Okay, that became Darth Vader. She was holding her own. And there's also a theory out there that she might be the last Night Sister, so potentially Force sensitive as well. And she's back. And you can see here now, this is the same gold that we saw with Thrawn walking up, so I'm not sure if this is the same fleet, if this is the same ship, but we do know that they're in league with each other because of the second season of The Mandalorian. Okay, we're at this part now, which is beautiful. Now, everyone is talking about whether or not this is the world between worlds. I don't think it's the world between worlds. I actually think this back here, you can see this blue and white beautifulness that's happening in the back. I actually think this is a star map. Now, the star maps were actually from the Knights of the Old Republic games. These are maps that use the Force itself to create and catalog the galaxy. They're very intricate pieces of maps where you actually had to go out and find pieces and bits and then you put them together. It was really annoying side quests in Knights of the Old Republic, but that's ultimately how you started to stargaze and travel the galaxy. And I think that is happening here. If you can look right behind these characters, which is one of the villains here, or what we believe to be one of the villains, there is some type of camera or light. You have lights in the background as well. So this is almost like an excavation site, and it's definitely a temple. And you look at the ground here too, with all of these weird things pointing out, it's exactly like the Ahsoka logo. So this is probably the main plot right here, whatever they're trying to get to. Is it the world between worlds? Is it the time traveling stuff that we've all feared? Or is this something else that we're gonna see here that belongs to Mortis or some other compelling temple of the Force that all these live action fans have no idea what they're about to embark on, and I cannot wait. So he ignites his orange lightsaber here, and I noticed something too. This is very Old Republic, and if you could look at his hilt, you see that hilt? He has kind of like a protector, not necessarily like a cross guard like Kylo Ren's, but almost like Katana Shoto-esque back from in the Jedi era of the samurai. I know Jedi, yes, it's the same thing. That's what we get the inspiration from here. He also has the same type of armor. Do you see the way his body is? I'm not sure if this guy just came out of an Old Republic portal or something like this, but they are giving me this master and apprentice type vibe. But back in the day when there was thousands of Sith, I'm not trying to say or speculate that perhaps that these are time travelers, but the way their armor looks is very old, almost degraded looking. Not Beskar, not shiny, nothing of the High Republic sort. So I wonder where exactly they are from. I'm very intrigued, and I believe these characters' names are Shin and Baylan. And Baylan is the man that you see here. Shin is the woman that we saw earlier in the trailer. So this is Hera Syndulla again, some New Republic that looks like a Mon Cal. Yes, Admiral Akbar, there she goes. She's igniting her lightsaber. Only one here, so very interesting why she doesn't have her Shoto as well. This is her lightsaber. This is her katana. Yes, and you got more of the background over here. I definitely think it's a bubble. It's some type of bubble that is gauging. Maybe it's a map to some place very similar to the compass that we've seen in Battlefront 2 and The Last Jedi. All right, nice spinning here. There goes Shin. Okay, so a better perspective here of the armor that we've seen. This is much more modern, I feel like. Very nice looking, very sleek, very apprentice vibes. Reminds me a lot of Darth Zana, one of the apprentices to one of the greatest Sith Lords of all time, thousands of years before the movies. And I cannot wait to see who these characters are. You know, white hair. We don't get to see a dark side female very often, you know, and we got Reva in Kenobi, and now we're getting this character, and the Acolyte is going to be coming out. I want more. I shouldn't, but I want more, okay? I want more. Okay, Star Wars and hallway scenes, baby. We're just gonna keep doing it. All right, so here we go. Before, I did not catch this in my reaction. This is for certainly Ezra Bridger, and it took me a while to see the holo terminal because he just looked a little different. We have not seen live action Ezra, but you know, if it looks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it's probably Ezra Bridger, right? I know it's a duck. So this absolutely is Ezra Bridger, and I think you can see Sabine kind of contemplating, looking at him. Yes, so I think this is the last message. Oh, and that looks like his lightsaber right there if we're looking at it. I think this is the last message that Ezra had sent to Sabine and everybody, the entire Ghost team, the entire Spectre team. And what he was saying was he was giving his last goodbyes. And once you saw the holo terminal, that meant that he was already dead or gone. And one of the things he said specifically to Sabine is like, hey, you know what? I'm counting on you. She doesn't really know what that means. And I think it's kind of haunting her. And, it's making her kind of regret not being able to find him yet. And I think this is going to be a huge part of the story. So I can't wait to see what's gonna happen here. All right, more lightsaber fights. I love to see this. This does look like some type of Inquisitor. And funny enough, this Inquisitor may be loyal to the Emperor himself. Now, when the Emperor died, he had a precautionary, right, for a scenario where he was removed from the equation, whether he was dead or removed himself. And it looks like this Inquisitor here is loyal to the Empire, or whatever remnants there are. But the Inquisitor has also had a similar task like the Jedi would go out and seek out Force sensitives. Instead of seeking them out and looking for them, the Inquisitors actually took them and created them as dark side Inquisitors. So I wonder if this is one of the final or last Inquisitors that we see. In the comics, we always know Darth Vader and the Emperor had hands and secret apprentices, so I wonder if this is one of those dark side acolytes that we've heard so much about. There she goes again. I love this. This is actually from scene 7 of the Clone Wars where she jumps down and does her flip. That's probably going to be exactly what we see. Okay, big character, all right? So this character is actually Hu Yang. I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but he's very important to creating a lightsaber because all of the Padawans that we've seen in Clone Wars, this is the person, this is the guy they go to that teaches them how to create a lightsaber. And he had been teaching Jedi for thousands and thousands of years. And it wasn't no pushover character either. This was a character that was voiced by David Tennant in the animated Clone Wars series. So I wonder if this is what Ahsoka is, a part of Ahsoka's quest to go out and find this character to help, I don't know, rebuild the Jedi Order and introduce them into how to make a certain lightsaber for themselves. I mean, I can't wait to see. All right, fam, that's it. That's all I got. I mean, I never really dissect trailers because I don't want to get so into it that it affects my reactions. But I've been waiting for this for so long. All right, y'all ain't got no idea. So I hope you like this video, and I appreciate you all coming here and dealing with my ridiculousness. There was no script and just free falling. So yeah, I'll see you around. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel. Deuces, fam.